You probably know that one of Peppa Pig's favorite companions isn't exactly a person but Teddy, her inseparable teddy bear. But have you ever heard of the bizarre theory suggesting that Teddy isn't just an ordinary stuffed toy as we all imagine? There are suspicions that she might actually have a life of her own. Buckle up, as this story will challenge your perception of the Peppa Pig universe. Disappearances. Let's start with a particularly intriguing point: Teddy's frequent disappearances. There's a recurring joke in the show where Peppa loses her doll in various places. It seems funny, but is it really just the little pig being careless? For instance, in the episode Teddy's Day Out, the teddy bear is first left behind at home. Later, Peppa forgets her again at the park. However, Teddy is returned by Mr. Zebra, the town postman, who goes out of his way to deliver the toy to the pig family's house. Up to this point, everything seems normal, right? Now consider this. What if these forgettings weren't accidental? What if Teddy was running away on her own? It might sound strange, but we're about to show you why this could actually make sense. Things get even weirder in the episodes where the pig family travels to Italy. In this arc, Teddy is forgotten or perhaps escapes multiple times. For example, early in the trip, Toy is left behind on the plane the pig family takes to reach their destination. The next day, during a visit to an authentic Italian restaurant, Peppa casually mentions that Teddy loved the Italian pizza, which is odd in itself. After the meal, however, Teddy is once again left behind. This is a lot for such a short time frame, or maybe she wasn't just forgotten. Perhaps the little doll deliberately remained seated in the chair, as if she wanted to stay a little longer since she loves pizza, doesn't she? But wait, there's more. The most intriguing incident occurs when the pig family is leaving Italy. As the car heads to the airport, Teddy, who was securely placed, can be seen lying on the ground. It's as if she jumped out on her own, determined to stay in Italy at all costs. This final escape raises an important question. Why does Teddy seem so eager to stay in Italy? The most popular theory suggests that, before becoming a doll, Teddy was actually an Italian woman. This would explain her love for pizza and her determination to remain in the country. But if that's true, how did a person become a doll? And more importantly, how did she end up in the pig family's home, thousands of miles away? This is undoubtedly a major mystery that needs to be unraveled in the future. But it's not the only clue pointing to Teddy's strange and potentially creepy behavior. Curious to learn more? Then put on your golden boots and join us as we delve deeper into the incredible, and sometimes mysterious, world of Peppa. Can Teddy talk? Another detail that makes the theory of the doll having a life of her own even more bizarre is how Peppa describes Teddy. Many times, Peppa attributes opinions and preferences to her doll, as if the two are having actual conversations. A clear example appears in the episode Dr. Hamster's Tortoise. While pretending to be a doctor, Peppa says that Teddy likes eating vegetables. Even Mr. Potato would be surprised by this. But that's not all. When using a stethoscope, Peppa doesn't hear a heartbeat in Teddy, confirming that she's just an inanimate object. Or is she? Perhaps she's something more, a cursed object or a vessel for a restless soul, much like Daisy the doll from the amazing world of Gumball. The big question remains, what is Teddy's purpose? Is she trying to protect Peppa, or is she a sinister presence? And perhaps most intriguingly, what's the deal with the Italian policeman who always seems to return Teddy? There's no denying he seems to know far more than he lets on. If you think this theory might be true, comment Teddy below and share this with your friends who also love creepy theories. Login. One of the most curious mysteries in Peppa Pig is the existence of an enigmatic account on the family's computer. Each account is named after a family member, easily identifiable by the letters that form their names. However, there are two intriguing exceptions: Susie Sheep's account and another one named O, whose origin remains completely unknown. Various theories have emerged to explain this phenomenon. One of the most popular suggests that Peppa has an evil twin who lives hidden in the house. This could explain the appearance of the OOP account. However, there's an even more compelling theory: Teddy. Think about it. If Teddy truly has a life of her own, possible she sneaks out at night to use the computer without anyone noticing. And the most curious fact? The score on this account in the chicken game is astonishingly low. All the player needs to do to earn points is press the keyboard buttons. A very simple task, unless you're a toy without fingers. The name OOP could also be an accident, possibly just random letters that the doll typed while creating the account. However, if we consider that the name might hold some significance, plausible to think that OOP could stand for Olga Pig or something similar. This makes sense, given that the initials of Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig's names also end with P. And what does this mean? There are two possibilities. Either Teddy considers herself part of the family, or she truly was a piglet before dying and becoming trapped in a toy. The more we investigate, clearer it becomes that Teddy has a secret story, filled with dark details waiting to be uncovered. But before we continue, Teddy is a girl. Something that leaves many people puzzled is Teddy's gender. Although Peppa occasionally refers to her in the masculine form, Teddy is, in fact, girl. This information was confirmed by Peppa herself in the episode My Birthday Party when she dresses the doll in a dress and discusses it with her dad. But doesn't that seem a little odd? If Teddy were just an imaginary character, why didn't Peppa treat her as a girl from the beginning? The way things unfold suggests that Peppa initially thought Teddy was a boy, but at some point was corrected, possibly by the doll herself, who explained she was a girl. This is reflected in Daddy Pig's behavior, who also believed the teddy bear to be male. He likely thought this because he heard Peppa calling it he before. When his daughter put a dress on the toy and stated it was a girl, Daddy Pig simply accepted the situation as a child's playful imagination. However, those of us following the story from the outside can sense there's something deeper going on. Peppa seems to know highly specific details about Teddy, information that would be impossible for a child her age to invent. This is, at the very least, peculiar. If we consider the possibility that Teddy is the spirit of a person now inhabiting the stuffed animal, it makes sense that Peppa would have access to this knowledge. Perhaps Teddy was a little girl, about Peppa's age, before passing away and now resides in the toy. This revelation, however, raises an even more unsettling question. Could Teddy be hiding a tragic past filled with mysteries? But don't worry, we'll explore this theory in greater detail later. Before we dive deeper, make sure you click the subscribe button below right now. Deal? Teddy's past. Now, get ready for an even deeper dive into this dark and mysterious story. Detective. With all the evidence we've gathered, clear that Teddy isn't just an ordinary stuffed bear but something far more complex. The most widely accepted theory is that it houses the soul of a young Italian girl named Olga. Although we don't have concrete proof of her name, we'll call her Olga for simplicity. Spirits often get trapped in objects with which they have a strong emotional connection. In this case, Teddy Bear was Olga's favorite toy, and she likely passed away as a child, around the same age as Peppa. Olga was a lively girl with a personality that closely resembled Peppa's. She loved colorful dresses and, of course, had a deep passion for Italian pizza. However, Olga's fate was tragic. Unfortunately, even children are not immune to terrible events. Olga was chosen by a dark cult to be an offering in a macabre ritual. The ritual, however, didn't go as planned. As an unintended consequence, her soul became sealed within her beloved teddy bear. Thus, the haunting presence we now know as Teddy was born. Now imbued with supernatural powers, Olga, now Teddy, became almost invincible. In her vengeful form, she hunted down the members of the cult that sacrificed her. While she may have managed to take revenge on some of them, the remaining cultists devised a plan to imprison her inside a special box. Their goal was to keep her locked away forever, but somehow, she escaped. Our theory points to Mr. Fox as the main culprit behind this escape. Known for selling all sorts of items from his van, and possibly engaging in shady activities, he may have discovered the existence of the haunted toy and decided to steal it. His plan was to sell it in England to make a profit from the rare object. And that's exactly what he did. He sold the teddy bear to Daddy Pig, who then gave it to Peppa as a gift. Curiously, the doll doesn't seem to have any malicious intentions toward Peppa or her family. On the contrary, it seems to have grown fond of its new home. However, desire for revenge against the cult members still lingers. Teddy also appears to want to return to her homeland, perhaps to seek some form of rest. This explains why, upon returning to Italy, she tried to escape from Peppa at all costs. And she might have succeeded if not for an Italian police officer who stepped in. However, this officer has a dark secret. He is actually one of the surviving members of the cult that conducted the ritual. Aware of the danger Olga represents, he did everything he could to ensure that Teddy returned to England with the Pig family. So, the question remains, will Teddy ever find the peace she so desperately seeks? This question leaves us deeply intrigued, doesn't it? Imagining that such a complex and twist-filled story lies behind something as simple as a toy makes us reflect on the surprises life can hold. But we're not stopping here. We've left 2 super interesting videos on your screen. Click on one to keep the fun going and uncover even more mysteries and theories that will blow your mind. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next investigative adventure.